dear colleagues, I feel like we have been here before discussing again and again the same issue in similar circumstances. However, while the context has changed and irregular migrant arrivals have drastically dropped, certain political attitudes have unfortunately not changed. And so we find again ourselves here. First of all, let me state that I am relieved that a solution has been found that allowed all migrants on board of the two NGO vessels to disembark in Malta. But let's also not fool ourselves. Having 49 people, 49 on boats at sea for almost 3 weeks is not what the European Union stands for. And it is even more shameful to think that this happened during the Christmas period. The European Union is about human values and solidarity, and we are all determined to uphold these values. But if human values and solidarity are not upheld, it is not Europe. At the Commission, we spared no effort to call for and coordinate relocation pledges among Member States and make this disembarkation possible. I was myself, day and night, in direct contact with a number of ministers. I have also called publicly on all Member States to show more solidarity. This is a message I will keep repeating, because we cannot continue to negotiate with human lives at sea. First, I wish to commend Malta as one of our smallest Member States for demonstrating such solidarity, and I plan to visit Malta very soon. I would also like to thank all the Member States that agreed to receive the migrants disembarked in Malta: Germany, France, Portugal, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, Romania, Slovenia, Ireland and Italy. All these countries have shown European solidarity in the most concrete way possible. But the European Union simply cannot continue to rely on unorganised ad hoc solutions when it comes to disembarkation. I was in Italy, as you know, yesterday, where I had constructive discussions with the leadership of the country, with Prime Minister Conte and Interior Minister Salvini. We are all committed to establishing a truly European solidarity mechanism, because it is not only through a European approach that we can really manage this challenge. The situation today is already proof of that. The number of irregular arrivals today are nowhere near to those 3 years ago, and they are 80% less than last year. And yet, the political resistance today almost seems bigger. I ask everyone to open their eyes. We are not in a migration or refugee crisis anymore, although some try to present it as such. And while we are determined to continue reducing irregular migratory flows towards Europe, we also have to acknowledge that some migrants and refugees will continue to come, even if those numbers are much smaller today. This is not something that we cannot handle, but it does become unmanageable if countries have to act alone. It is for exactly this reason that we need predictable and sustainable mechanisms in place. It is indeed critical for Europe to uphold its moral and human duty, while at the same time to have in place a solid, sustainable, future-proof and fair asylum system. This is the essence of our common European asylum reform. Until we get there, the Commission is ready to work with Member States to set up temporary arrangements. They will allow us to ensure solidarity with the most exposed EU countries while avoiding creating a pull factor. They will serve as a bridge until the new Dublin regulation becomes applicable. I have said this in December, and I will not stop making this point until we succeed. Now is the time to finalise the reform of the European Union's asylum rules. Now is the time for the governments to take up their responsibilities in the Council and stop blaming the Commission. I count on this House's continued support. And before I close my remarks, I would like to express my gratitude to the Parliament for its support during all these 4 years. Thanks to your support and to your commitment, we are in a position to say that we deliver, but we can do more in the future. But unfortunately, the clock is ticking, we are running out of time, and we have only 3 months ahead. Let's do our duty, let's do our job. Thank you.